Hey guys, today's question is minimum add to make parenthesis valid. In this question, we are given with a string of opening and closing brackets, and we have to return the number of brackets we have to insert to make it balanced. For example, in the example 1, in this string, we have to add another extra opening bracket in the left side, or here, we can also add it here. So the string will be balanced, the parenthesis will be balanced. Now in this string s equals to 3 opening brackets, we have to add 3 closing brackets to make it balanced. Now what can be the approach, as this is a parenthesis question, so the stack comes first in the mind. But I have two approaches. The stack approach can be optimized further, so first solve it with a stack approach and later on move on the constant memory approach. So let's take a stack of character. Now what we will do is, if we found this bracket and after that if we found this bracket, that means this bracket is cancelling out this bracket. Okay, so if the top of the stack is the opening bracket and the current element which we will iterating is the closing bracket, then we have to pop out the top of the stack, and after the whole execution of the for loop we will be remaining with the brackets which didn't have the closing bracket for that. Okay, so let's write that. So for auto and next in string, now we will pop out the element if stack is not empty, of course. So first we will check if not stk dot empty. Now we will check if the top is the opening bracket, stk dot top dot equals to, and finally the current element should be closing bracket also, so fx double equals to closing bracket. That's it. In this case we will pop out, so stk dot pop, and in the else case we have to push the element in stack, so stk dot push x, and after that we will simply return the size of stack, which will tell how many parentheses we have to add extra to balance. Okay, so return stk dot size. Let's first run this. Okay, something wrong. Not stk dot empty and stk dot top. There should be a bracket here in order. Okay, submit first. Okay, now let's move to the constant space approach. First I will comment out this. Now what we can see, if the number of brackets in the left, the opening brackets, if there are more than one opening bracket and we found a closing bracket, then of course it will cancel out. Okay, so if when we are iterating in left to right, we will use two variables, count left and count right, which will be storing the count of the opening and closing brackets. Now if there is an opening bracket in the left side, okay, if the count of opening bracket is greater than 0 and we found a closing bracket, then we have to decrement the counter of opening bracket. Okay, and in the else case we have to increment the counter of the bracket that we currently have. Okay, and after that finally we will simply return the count of both, addition of count of both. Okay? Return the sum of the count of both. It is also a stack like approach, but what we are doing is we are simply using variables for that. Okay, you can use a dry run to understand it well. So first we will take two variables I explained, count left, which will be storing the count of the opening brackets, and count right is going to be right. Okay, initially both are 0, and now we will simply iterate over the string. So for auto and x in s, what we will check, if, as I explained first, if the current bracket is closing bracket and we have a opening bracket in the left side for that, then we will decrement the counter for the left side, otherwise we will increment. Okay, So if current element is closing bracket, and the first case, if we have an opening bracket for that, so if count left is greater than 0, okay, then we have a opening bracket also in the left side, so these balls will be cancelled out, so we'll decrement the counter of left and won't do any changes to the counter of right. And in the else case, as this is a closing bracket, we have to increment the counter for right, so count right plus plus. Okay, in the else case, if we found a opening bracket, then we can't do anything, decrement will, so we will simply increment the counter for the left side. Okay, so count left plus plus, and finally we will simply return the sum of both, so return count left plus count right. Okay, let's run this. Okay, let's submit. So the code is accepted. Thank you for watching.